Shivoham and good evening. Welcome to the Zoom call on Realize the Truth. Margaret, Shivoham, welcome. Amma, I don't see Girish. I hope Girish is there. Kumar Swami, welcome to the Zoom call. Veena, Sudeep, Samhita. Taufik, I can't see you, but your video is on. Taufik, your name is new to me. Welcome to the Zoom call. Ajitek, Surinder, Sanjay Das, Sara, welcome to the Zoom call. We have Karan Singh, Girish, you're separate from Amma today. Harshal, Rajaratnam. Welcome, Ruchika Singh, Gautam, Mutkulanand, Komal, Lakshmi, Sachin, Hema. Great evening to you all. Like I see Hema and Ashok joining us. I also see Lakshmi has joined, and many more on the call whom I can't see. Therefore, I'm not able to greet you all. But welcome, one and all, to this call on the subject of realize the truth about life, about happiness, and about God. Today, we will touch three very important subjects, very, very important subjects that can transform our life. Yes, if you want 1 hour to transform your life, it is just about to start now. So like they say, fasten your seat belts because we are just going to take off. Dear friends, thank you for spending time and joining us for this call. But it is so important to realize the truth. Unfortunately, the problem is this. We think we don't need to realize the truth because we know it all. We think we know everything. And because we think we know everything, we live in this state of ignorance is bliss. We think that we can be blissfully existing in ignorance. I was in ignorance for 4 decades of my life. 4 decades of my life in complete ignorance, till I realized that I was a complete ignoramus. My guru once told me, you are an idiot. Go on a quest, go on a talash. And I went on a talash, a search to realize the truth. And today I'm just going to give you some simple tips. It's not a complicated session. It's a very light session. Realize the truth about life, about happiness, about God, if you really want to transform the way you want to live. So my friends, what is the truth about life? You think you know everything about life, but what do we actually know? Sometimes I think we are like that villager. That villager came to the town and he went for a movie. His friend asked him, what do you see? It was a war movie. And he said, oh, I see horses. He says, no, what do you see behind the horses? He said, I see elephants. He said, oh, what do you see beyond the elephants? He said, I see horses and I see elephants. And beyond that, I see the sky and the smoke that's going up. He said, no, what else do you see? And he said, nothing. I see nothing. And then, just then, as he said, I see nothing, there was an intermission, the interval. And in the interval, what did he see? A blank screen. And then his friend asked him, what do you see now? He said, I see just a blank screen. Friends, we are seeing the horses and the elephants, but they're all projections. We are not able to see the blank screen, the screen called life. Everything that's happening in life is a projection. Everything that's happening in life is nothing but images. That's why when we are awake, we have a different life. When we sleep and we dream, we are transported to a new life. So which life is real? When you're awake, you believe you are Margaret. But when you sleep, you become Moses and you're leading people across, making the sea apart. And you think you've become Moses, but that's not real. That's just a dream. So what is the reality? What is this reality of life? Because we go through three states of consciousness. But we are the ultimate state of consciousness. We don't realize life is very simply the acronym LIFE. Life is liberation from ignorance and finding enlightenment. Yes, life is a journey where we have to get liberation, L, from ignorance, I, by finding, F, through enlightenment, E. So if you want to know the meaning of life, it is LIFE. It is not complicated, but this is what life is all about. My dear friends, realize the truth. Life has a purpose. Do you think that you and me came to planet Earth? We have this human birth just for nothing? Why were we not a dog or a cat or a tree? Do you know, sometimes I wonder, if I was a tree, I would have been bound to the ground for maybe 500 years, maybe 5,000 years. You know, a tree has life, right? It has roots and shoots and fruits. But the tree is bound to the ground. Why are you and me not a tree? Have you thought? No, there's no time to think. We are just running and running and running. We think life is a race. We think life is a chase. And we want to be an ace. And we get caught in this maze called life. We don't understand the meaning. Why this birth? Why did we come to earth? We don't understand. You see, when we were born, we say, happy birthday to you. But why? We think we were born on the birthday. But that's a lie. Were you born on your birthday? If you were born on your birthday, Dr. Surinder Goyal, then one day before you should not exist. Na? But ask your mother, were you alive one day before coming out? She will say, of course, you were kicking in the womb. You were kicking. You were alive. So we were alive even before we came out of our mother's womb. So when did we actually take birth? When did we start our journey called life? Was it one day before birth, 1 week before, 1 month before, 3 months before, 9 months before? When did we actually come alive? You may think, why do I need to ask this question? You need to ask this question to realize the truth of who you are and why you are here. Are we meant just to exist? Is that what life is for? That we are like a table and chair. We are lying there till one day we are moved away. Is that the purpose of life? Even a dead fish can float downstream, my friends. You throw a dead fish on a floating stream, it will float. We are not dead fish, we are alive. What is the purpose of this journey called life? We are not meant just to be born, to exist, and to die. Life has meaning, but we have to understand what is this true meaning of life. Unfortunately, because we don't realize the true purpose of life, we exist, we die. We don't achieve the ultimate goal of life. To realize we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are the divine soul. Do we realize that? How many of us realize that? Because if you realize you are the divine soul, then you are liberated from all suffering. There will be pain of the body, but you will not suffer. The mind will try to make you miserable, but you will transcend the mind. The ego will say, I, me, mine. But while the ego says it, you will transcend the ego and you will live as the divine soul. My dear friends, there is a way to transcend the body, the mind, and the ego by realizing the truth of who I truly am. We don't understand this because we are running through life. We hardly spend a moment in silence. We don't introspect. We don't contemplate. We don't spend that moment in consciousness to be still and to find out who is the one who's breathing. Where is this breath coming from? Is there a power inside us? Is there a battery? What is this power? Is it the soul? So do we have a soul? What is the soul? Where did the soul come from? Friends, there are so many questions. And that's why the first subject of today's discussion is this: realize the truth about life. Don't think you know everything about life. I thought I knew everything about life for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Till when I was 46, my guru told me, you fool, go in search. You know, the millionaires and the billionaires and the presidents and the prime ministers of this continent, all the continents of this earth, this universe, they're ignorant about the truth. They may be powerful people, they may be rich people, but are they truly happy? The second question that we have to touch today: realize the truth about happiness. Remember, there is a connection between life and between happiness. Can a dead man want to be happy? You will laugh. How can a dead man want to be happy? Yeah, because he's dead. But the point is, what is the subject of life and death? Who creates life? Who takes away life? Who causes death to happen? Did you decide your birth? Did you decide you will be born, Sarah? Did you decide you will be born in Pakistan? Was that your choice? No, you don't know. You don't know. You were born one day and you said, I'm in Lahore, Pakistan. Okay, great. You're there, but that was not your choice. Who decides our birth? Sometimes people say our death is predestined. God knows. Obviously, God knows when we are going to die. But it's also to do not just with our past karma, but also our present karma. It's a combination of our past deeds and our present deeds. It's a dynamic equation. But unfortunately, we don't understand. We need to go in quest. We need to understand that there's a purpose for this journey called life. We are not meant just to live, just to die. When will we wake up? When will we wake up and realize the true meaning of life? And then happiness. What is the truth about happiness? Everybody wants to be happy. But does everybody know how to be happy? The whole world is searching for happiness. Yes, if you have questions, don't hesitate to keep asking questions. After my 30, 40 minutes of talk, we will be answering questions. So everybody wants happiness. Who doesn't want happiness? But the question is, how many people in this world are actually happy? We are all searching for happiness. We want to be happy. We are hoping we'll be happy tomorrow. We are saying, I will be happy if I get this, if I get that. We are waiting to be happy in a future, in a time that we hope will happen. But what is the guarantee that we will be happy tomorrow? What is the guarantee that tomorrow will turn out the way you want it to turn out to be? There is no guarantee. So then, what is the secret of happiness? Today, let us touch the second realization. Realize the truth about life. Realize the truth about happiness. Happiness is like a shadow. The more you chase it, the further it goes away. Have you ever tried to catch your shadow? Try it tomorrow, unless you're in a time zone where the sun is still shining. As you keep chasing your shadow, it moves away. You can't catch your shadow. But if you stand still, it remains there with you. So is happiness. Happiness is with you wherever you are. But you are searching for happiness. What do people think? People think happiness is equal to pleasure. They link happiness to achievement. Right from the time we were kids, when we were born, we went to school. What were we taught? We were taught, be successful, be happy. Right? We were taught this, that success is happiness. This was a myth. This was the wrong equation we were taught, that success is happiness. That's why today the whole world is chasing success. Many people are successful, but are they happy? Oh no. Oh no. You can look around. If happiness belonged to the rich, then they should be glad, not sad. But unfortunately, happiness does not belong to people who have money or wealth. Success is not happiness, my friends. Happiness is success. Because if you're happy, you're already successful. But from the time we were kids in school, what were we taught? We were taught, come first in class, be the captain of the school. Come, you must win the debate. You must win the quiz competition. We were not given a chance to lose. We were not taught the purpose of life. We were given so much academics, but we were not taught how to be happy. Today, the world is in depression. Today, the world is living with fear, worry, anxiety. Were you taught in school how to overcome anxiety and fear and worry? You were taught about Akbar and Birbal. You were taught about the British rule, and you were taught about so many history and geography and chemistry. But were you taught about life and happiness? We have not been taught the important things of life, and therefore we don't know. Today we are talking about realize that happiness has three peaks. The first peak is called achievement. The first peak is called achievement. But my friends, achievement is just simple pleasure. It is momentary happiness. Those who take an exit from the highway called achievement, they reach a life of contentment and fulfillment. They climb to the second peak of happiness. They are content. They don't let their need become a greed. They transcend the greed of their mind, of their ego, and they live with joy and bliss and peace. On the first peak of achievement, you have pleasure. On the second peak of fulfillment, you have peace. But whether you are on the first peak or second peak, you still suffer. You still suffer because everybody who's on earth suffers pain of the body, misery of the mind, agony of the ego. We are agonized by the ego with anger, hate, revenge, jealousy. Why? Why are we agonized? You know why? Because we don't realize the truth about life. We don't realize the truth about happiness. We need to go to the third peak of happiness called enlightenment. Therefore, today is an opportunity for you to realize the truth about life, to realize the truth about happiness, and to realize the truth about God. They're all three connected. We don't understand. And because we don't understand, we suffer. We suffer, we are miserable, we are chasing illusions. Illusions that may give us momentary pleasure, but they will not give us ananda. Ananda is a state of eternal joy, everlasting peace. Today I was meeting some friends. All day I was in a meeting and I was watching them. They're busy trying to make their companies make millions and billions and more buildings and more businesses and more corporate achievements. But they're living lives of stress and worry and anxiety. What is the use, my dear friends? When will we realize that nothing belongs to us? When will we realize that in the end, we may cheat the whole world, we may cheat the government, we may cheat our customers, we may cheat our suppliers, but in the end, nothing will belong to us. Nothing will belong to us. When will we realize this? The moment we realize this, this is called enlightenment. This is what every Friday Zoom call at 7 o'clock touches one subject on enlightenment. To switch on the light. Therefore, it's very important to learn to realize the truth about life, about happiness. What is the secret of happiness? The richest man is not the happiest man. The happiest man is the richest man. When will we realize that you can't be successful all the time, but you can be happy all the time? What do you want to be? You want to be successful or do you want to be happy? There was a man, I love this. He was so much fond of pleasure. One day he was standing beside the river Ganges and he saw a beautiful black fur rug floating on the river. A beautiful, beautiful fur, a fabulous cuddly, big black fur. He liked it so much, he jumped into the Ganges and he started swimming. And he caught the black fur. And he was so happy because it was an expensive fur. And as he caught the fur, he could not control himself. He was flowing down with the fur down the flowing Ganges. And his friends called back and said, hey, come back, leave it, let go. You know what he said? He said, I have let go of it. It's not letting go of me. He screamed back, मैंने छोड़ दिया, वो मुझे नहीं छोड़ रहा है. क्या नहीं छोड़ रहा है? It was not black fur, it was a bear. It was a bear swimming in the river. He caught hold of a bear, and now the bear caught hold of him. What has this got to do with happiness? We catch hold of worldly attractions. We catch hold of addictions. We catch hold of passions. And then what happens? The moment we are addicted, we are attached, we catch hold of things. Then when we want to let go, they don't let go of us. That is the secret we must learn. How to be happy all the time. Therefore, my friends, let us realize the truth about happiness. You know, happiness is a choice. Happiness belongs to the now. If you want to be happy, you have to be happy now. You can't be happy tomorrow. You can't depend on products, on people, on places to make you happy. Don't say, I will be happy if I get this. I will be happy if I am with so-and-so. I will be happy if I go to New York. No, don't make your happiness conditional to products, to people, to places. My dear friends, happiness belongs to you. It belongs to now. You can't be happy in yesterday. It's gone. You can't be happy in tomorrow. It's not yet born. If you want to be happy, you have to be happy now. And if you learn to be happy now, and now, and now, and then now again, if you just learn to be happy moment by moment, you can be happy for your whole life. Because life is made up of moments. Moments create hours, create days, weeks, months, years, and life. If only you learn to be happy in the moment, you can be happy forever. But we are miserable in the moment. Therefore, our entire life is miserable. Who causes this misery? We do. Why did we cause this misery? Because we spend moments of our life in misery. Dear friends, realize the truth about happiness. Make it a choice to be happy. You know, I met an old lady recently, and this old lady, she had 2 daughters. They were married, and she told me, you know, I am so unhappy. I'm so unhappy. I'm so unhappy. So I said, what happened? She said, you see, my daughter, she has an ice cream shop. She has an ice cream shop, and nobody's buying ice cream because it's so cold. It's 0 degrees, -1, -2. It's so miserable. My daughter has no business in an ice cream shop. I said, okay. But then a few months later, when summer comes, you should be very happy. She said, no, I'm not happy. Because when my daughter starts selling ice cream, my second daughter becomes miserable. I said, what happened? Why your second daughter becomes miserable? She said, because my second daughter sells blankets. It becomes hot. Nobody buys blankets. So nobody's buying blankets, you see. And my second daughter is unhappy. So 6 months I'm unhappy because the ice cream daughter is unhappy. And 6 months I'm unhappy because the blanket daughter is unhappy. I told her, why don't you switch over? Why don't you be happy 6 months because your ice cream daughter is selling ice creams in summer? And why don't you be happy 6 months for your blanket daughter who's selling blankets in winter? 6 months they make money. Be happy. There are many people who have this 6-month season. But she was living a life of unhappiness. Chandresh, happiness is a choice. हाँ कि नहीं चंद्रेश? अगर आपको दुखी रहना है तो दुखी रहो. कौन रोकता है दुखी रहने में? सुख दुख हमारे हाथ में है. If you want to be happy, it's a choice. You want to be unhappy, it's a choice. Don't blame anybody for your happiness or your unhappiness. My dear friends, realize the truth about life, realize the truth about happiness, and ultimately realize the truth about God. People think God, oh God, God is a very touchy subject because my God is original, your God is duplicate. This is the biggest foolishness, right? Thinking that my God is different from your God is the biggest ignorance. Because we think one God created the sun, one God created the moon, one God created India, one God created Saudi Arabia, one God created America, one God created Antarctica. Arey, come on, wake up. Wake up. There is one power, a power we call God. When will we realize we don't know the truth about who is God, where is God, what is God? We don't know. Your God and my God are not different. It's the same power. When will we realize? Just because you say, I want, suppose you come and tell me, I want water. And I tell you, okay, pani lo, pani. I don't want pani, I want water. Yeah, pani, pani. No, I don't want pani. Give me water. Won't you laugh? Pani and water is the same. Just because we say pani, it doesn't mean the water it's not water. It is pani or water. Huh? Somebody saying H2O. I told you about this H2O subject. I didn't tell you. Somebody's giving special comments. I like these special comments. Harsh, you remember this? So one person went to a bar, right? Went to the bar and said that the bartender said, "What do you want?" And so he said, "I fancy, no?" Said, "I want H2O." So the bartender, what did the bartender do? Put a glass and said H2O. And he asked the next person, "What do you want?" And the next person said H2O2. H2O2. What they meant to say, I also want H2O. And so that person, H2O2 is a chemical. He gave the chemical and the person burst. It's peroxide. So don't act too smart, right? Sometimes in life, when somebody is saying H2O, you don't say H2O2. That is what happens in life. Somebody told me this joke. Sometimes I don't have time to listen to jokes, but some jokes are interesting. Friends, when will we realize the truth about life, about happiness, and about God? Now we are talking about God. Who is God? Where is God? What is God? Does God exist? Oh, of course God exists. Somebody asked the question, what is the guarantee that God exists? Now, sometimes I love this story of they have this interfaith religious conferences, big New York and London and Paris. They spend billions of dollars and they have these competitions. And they bring scientists and they bring pastors and sadhus and all over the world. And they have this competition. They have this big seminar. And they have a seminar every year. Somebody pays the money. And so there was one pastor in a church and there was a scientist. Both were good friends. And they met. For 3 days, they argued. For 3 days, they argued about the existence of God. And the conference was over. Then the time came on the last day. The scientist came to say goodbye to the pastor. The scientist was living in a different country. The pastor was living in the same place as the conference. So he came to his office. He said, let's have coffee and we'll go. And they said, we agree to disagree. Agree to disagree means we don't agree with each other, but let us be friends. Let us agree to disagree. So while they agreed to disagree, the scientist was having coffee with the pastor. And on the table, he saw a beautiful globe. He saw a beautiful, beautiful globe. And the globe had marble and gold inlays. And so he asked the pastor, I love your globe, so beautiful. Can you please give me the manufacturer's name of the globe? So the pastor told him, I don't know. Actually, I don't know where this globe came from. One day I came to my office to this table and this globe was here. So the scientist got very upset. The scientist said, don't tell all this nonsense to me. If you don't want to give the name of the manufacturer where you bought from, if you don't want me to buy, tell me. Don't tell me one day you came to your table and suddenly the globe came. How the globe came suddenly to your table? The pastor got the opportunity. You know what he told him? He said from 3 days in the conference, You are arguing with me from 3 days that this whole earth, the real globe came from nowhere. It came from Big Bang. It came from nowhere. You are not willing to agree that this tiny globe should have a manufacturer, but you're telling me the real earth, the real globe has got no manufacturer. There's a manufacturer, right? Who is this manufacturer? Who is the manufacturer of the earth? It is a power we call God. The power, the one who made the earth, who made the sun, the moon, the stars, the birds, the animals, the flowers. Who made you? Who made me? You know, you and me, we are made of 30 trillion cells. You and me, each one has over 30 trillion cells. Who's caused this magic? Can you put logic? Human beings can't make one fruit, one berry, one butterfly, one bud. Huh? And we are questioning the existence of God. The problem is some people think God is a statue. Some people think God is a saint. No, God is not a statue. God is not a saint. God is a power that no human being can paint. God cannot be defined. God defined is God denied. You cannot define. Trying to define God is like trying to empty the ocean in your bathtub. Can you take all the water of the ocean and put it in your bathtub? You laugh at me. Impossible. While it's impossible to do that, this is the truth that God is beyond definition. Well, my friends, when will we realize this truth? That God exists. We don't know who is God, where is God, what is God. How will you come to know? You can't find the God. You have to realize God. How do you realize God? You realize God when you open your real eyes. Most of us, we are blind. Many of you who hear me again and again, you may know some of the things I say. For example, 1% of the world is visually blind. Only 1% out of 100 people can't see. But while 1% is visually blind, 99% are spiritually blind. 99% of the people in this world can't see the truth. They can't realize the truth. Once, a man went to a town to cut his hair. He went to a barber shop. As the barber was cutting his hair, the barber was telling him, you know, God doesn't exist. This man was a believer in God. You know, look at it, COVID, everyone is dying. Look at it, so many heart attacks. Look at it, so many diseases. Bhagwan hai hi nahi. Allah nahi hai. There is no Father in heaven. This man was, he listened to him. He went on. If only we realized that there is no God, we would be happier. This man listened. He prayed to God. He said, "Ye kya Hajjan ko kaise samjhaye?" This barber, how to make him understand? So he went out of this. He went out of the barber shop. As he went out of the barber shop, he walked for 100, 200 meters. In silence, God gave him the answer. God gave him the answer how to make the barber realize. So what he did, he came back to the barber shop. He came to the barber and told the barber, "Oh, there are no saloons in your town. There are no barbers in your town." The barber told him, "Are you gone mad? Just now I cut your hair. Just now I cut your hair, and you're telling there is no barber in the town. There are no saloons in the town. There are no." He said, "Yeah, because I went out on the street and there are so many people who have got long beards and long hair. That means there is no barber, no? Because hundreds of people are there who have not shaved. Many people no shaving, beard, long hair. So there is no barber. Just like you said, because there's suffering in the world, there is no God." The barber said, "But the problem is not with the barber. Those people are not coming to me. If they come to me, I will cut their hair, I will cut their beard." So the man told him, "So also people don't believe in God. That's why they think there is no God. Just like people don't come to you, that's why they have long hair and long beard. Because people don't go to God and pray. They think there is no God. That is not the fault of God. That's the fault of us. My dear friends, time is short. Time is short, and I would like to answer your questions. So if you have any questions on life, on happiness, on God, please put them, because now we are going to get into questions. But before we get into questions, let's put this together. If you want to realize the truth about God, try to ponder, introspect on something like Satyam Shivam Sundaram. What is the meaning? Satyam, it's not a Hindi movie. It's not a Bollywood song. It's a 1,000-year-old chant. What does it mean? Satyam, truth. Shivam, the divine. Sundaram, beautiful. The truth is divinity, is the beauty that we see. Everything beautiful is because of the divine. The moment the divine departs, there is no breath, there is death, the beauty disappears. Have you seen a very beautiful person whom you love so much? The moment God leaves that person, does the beauty remain? The beauty disappears because God disappears. The moment the soul, the moment the Atma, the spirit, the life, whatever you call it, the moment it leaves a person, what happens? All the beauty disappears. When will we realize the truth of Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram? If you realize the truth about Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, you will stop searching for God. You will see God everywhere. That's why whenever I meet somebody, I say Shivoham. I say Shivoham means I see God in you. I see the divine in you. I don't see you as bone and skin. I see you as the power within. That is the true person that you are. When will we realize the truth, my dear friends, about God? When will you realize the truth about life, about happiness? This is the challenge. God is everywhere, in everything. He's omnipresent. God is all powerful. He's omnipotent. God is all knowing. He's omniscient. So this is what God is. If somebody asks you the power of God, the qualities, God is invisible. God is everywhere. God is manifested as everything on this earth. Everything beautiful is beautiful because of the divine. Unfortunately, we are searching for God. But the kingdom of God is within you. This is what the Bible says, Luke 17, 20, 21. Margaret, am I right? God lives in the temple of your heart. Corinthians 3:16. This is what the scripture says. But instead of realizing God in the temple of our heart, we go to church, we go to temple, we continue to search for God. God is in you. God is in me. God is wherever you are. But we are searching outside. The Bible says it. The Gita says it. The Vedas say it. The Upanishads say it. The Buddha said it. Apo Deepa Bhava. Switch, light the light inside you, and you will find the answers inside. My dear friends, today is a day for you to stop searching for happiness, for God, and starting to live your life, being happy, living with faith. Our challenge of life is to overcome ignorance and to realize the truth. But what are we doing? We are chasing pleasures which are momentary. We are chasing happiness that comes and goes. When will we realize the truth? When will we overcome our ignorance? This is the challenge of our life. What is the challenge? We need enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment means to light up your life, to light up your happiness, your joy, to light up the power within. Every Friday, 7 o'clock, 7 to 8, every Friday, what do? Every Friday, we talk of enlightenment. We talk of subjects, of topics that will help us realize the truth. Every Friday, we explore the reality of life. But then everybody can't realize the truth unless you go in quest, unless you truly yearn for God, unless you are a seeker of the divine, you will never realize the truth. Do you want to realize the truth? You can. You can realize the truth if only you go in quest of it. Go in quest of the truth. So, my friends, putting it all together, we are ignorant of our ignorance. Remember this? We are ignorant of our ignorance. Therefore, we suffer. We must realize the truth. We must realize the purpose of life. We must realize the way to eternal happiness and peace. We must realize the truth about God. You know, if you realize the truth about God, all war would come to an end. Today, this world is where people are fighting with each other, trying to convert others from one religion to another because we are ignorant. We don't realize that we are all from the same source, the same energy. If only we realize the truth about God, about life, we would love each other. We would love each other so much. But to know more about love, next Friday, the 12th of February, 2 days before Valentine's, we will talk of a topic, discover the rainbow of true love. So next week, our topic is next Friday, discover the rainbow of true love. People think they know the meaning of true love. Oh no, you don't know the meaning of love. The Sufis called it ishq hakiki. The Greeks called it agape, not eros, not ishq majazi. So we will talk about the 7 colors of love. Those of you who are familiar with it, don't miss next week's Zoom call. Next Friday, 7 p.m. on. We have chosen it because it's 2 days before Valentine's. And everybody is talking of Valentine's. But what is the meaning of true love? What is the real meaning of true love? That we will talk on next Friday. But today, we are going to put all this together. What is this realization of the truth about life, about happiness, and about God? So with that, let us start taking questions. The first question I have is from Manikanta. How not to think negative thoughts in a successive life? How not to think negative thoughts? Who thinks negative thoughts? It's the mind. The mind thinks thoughts based on your emotions. Emotions are the raw material of the thought factory. The mind is the thought factory. I think we spoke about it last week. Somebody asked a similar question. The mind is the thought factory. If you feed it positive emotions, it will produce positive thoughts. If you feed negative emotions, it will produce negative thoughts. Some people, they live with love, hope, faith, courage, compassion, confidence. They have positive thoughts. Some people, they live with fear, hate, worry, anxiety, revenge, jealousy. What kind of thoughts you think they have? Obviously, negative thoughts. If you are going to live a life of negativity, then you're going to have negative thoughts. The mind is just a factory. I gave an example last time of a bottle factory. A bottle factory will produce whatever you feed. You feed plastic, it'll give plastic bottles. You feed glass, it'll give glass bottles. So the mind will give you the thoughts that you feed it with. So feed your mind positive emotions. Learn to live with faith, with hope, with trust, with love, with compassion. So Manikanta, then only you will have successive positive thoughts and a successful life. Ajitek Datta, we are divine consciousness. We are divine consciousness. I missed you. We are divine consciousness. What is consciousness? Take your entry, please. Meaning and definition. What happens when there's total consciousness in samadhi? So Ajitek, divine consciousness is something that you must experience. I can explain to you, but it is thoughtlessness. When Ajitek, when you want to switch off your mind, just like you tie your mind with a rope, you can't, right? You can't catch your mind because mind is a monkey, it's a rascal. You can't catch your mind. But the moment you still your mind, you become conscious for that moment. But normally, a normal human being can be only conscious for a moment. The mind is like a slippery fish. Before you realize it, it'll jump somewhere. Bong, boom, bong, boom, bong. It'll go here. As I'm talking to you, your mind will be jumping. As I'm talking to you, Ajitek, your mind will be jumping. Not your mind, even Sudeep. Ask Sudeep, he will agree. Sudeep, is the mind sitting quietly or jumping? The mind is a monkey. Even my mind, not only your, even my mind. So the only difference is when I try to live in consciousness, I catch hold of my mind through my intellect, not through my hand. The intellect within has a power to control the mind. It is a willpower. This is called, in Buddhism, they do chanting, they call it mindfulness. I tell people, don't get confused. Mindfulness doesn't mean making the mind full. It means making the mind empty. In fact, they should call it mind emptiness. But they call it mindfulness. It means consciousness. So, Ajitek, you have to be consciousness means you have to be still. You have to stop the mind from jumping. You have to make the monkey into a monk. Cut the T, cut the tail, EY, MONKEY, monkey mind. Cut it, cut the EY. The mind is ever yelling, ever shouting, ever yearning. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. I want pizza, I want burger, I want beer, I want juice, I want clothes, I want gold, I want. How will you stop the mind from jumping, yelling, yearning? Then when you stop the mind, Ajitek, you become conscious. Consciousness means you become the witness. Ajitek, you want definition? You become the witness. You become the observer of your mind. If your mind is jumping like a monkey from one thought to another thought, you watch the mind. It is not, you are not the mind. Somebody asked me the question, what is the meaning I am not the mind? So Ajitek, please pay attention. Suppose you have a dog. Huh? The dog is scratching its ears. Ajitek, who's scratching the ears? The dog. Does it mean you also will scratch your ears? Will you scratch? No, because your dog is scratching his ears. You'll say, it is my dog, but my dog is scratching my ears. I will not scratch ears. So also, when you say it is my mind is jumping like a monkey, but I will not jump like a monkey. You separate yourself from the mind, Ajitek. Then only you can experience consciousness. I hope you have been able to understand what I'm saying. Listen to it again and again, Ajitek. Easy nahi hai, but that's the way for you to feel conscious. Watch the mind. It'll jump. You bring it back. Watch it again. Watch it again. Watch it again. Keep on watching the mind as it jumps, as a monkey, as it yells, as it yearns. Keep on watching the mind. Then you will experience a state of consciousness, divine consciousness. Then people are entering. So Komal, how could you go in search? From where do I start the quest? Komal, you start the quest now. You start the quest in asking yourself, are you Komal? Even today, when somebody called and said, hello, who's speaking? What you said? I am Komal. Wrong. You're saying lies. Stop saying I am Komal. Correct? Can you stop saying you're Komal? You'll say, no, how can I say? I'll teach you how. Say, my name is Komal. Don't say, I am Komal. You are not Komal. Your name is Komal. Because when you were born, you are not Komal. You are given a name by your parents. Komal, the journey, the quest starts by understanding I am not my name. I am not the body. First, I was born. Then the body was formed in my mother's womb. First, I was created. I came alive. I did not have hands and legs and heart and brain. I was just one zygote, one single cell. It had life. That zygote grew into an embryo. Then the baby was born. Then Komal name was given. Please contemplate, Komal. If you want to realize the truth, please contemplate. Don't get swayed away like a boat in the river. Don't sink in the river. The boat doesn't sink, it stays on top of the water. Stay on top of the water of samsara. Samsara is a myth. It is not the truth. It is an illusion. It is Leela. It is Maya. You know it all. Convert your knowledge into realization. Okay, Komal? So start from today. Ajitek Dada, it is easier for camel to pass through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Yes, Ajitek, you know why? It is easier for a camel to pass the eye of the needle than a rich man, which means it is impossible for the camel to pass, right? But it is more impossible for a rich man to go to heaven. Why, Ajitek? Why is it impossible for a rich man to go to the kingdom of God? You know why? Because the rich man is attached to his riches. That's why he is rich. The real man who will attain the kingdom of heaven, he will give away all his riches before he dies. That is the goal of our life. What is the goal of our life? To die poor. If we die rich, we can never enter the kingdom of God. Therefore, nothing belongs to us. Remember this: give, 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 give till it hurts. Then you will realize God. Then you will find God within. My dear friends, this is not just some talk. This is the secret of happiness. We need to keep some things, I understand, but let us not be a slave to what we crave. We will take misery to our grave. Let us wake up and realize the truth. Triti, welcome Triti to the call. I didn't see you, but your question is here. Triti asks, does happiness and being grateful go hand in hand? Absolutely. So Triti, when you are grateful, you count your blessings. The people who count their blessings, they are happy. The people who don't count their blessings, they count their troubles. They always look at what they have lost, not what they have left. They're always looking at the negative part of life. They're always looking at the glass half empty. Triti, the great people who are grateful, they're looking at the glass and saying, thank you, Lord, because the glass is half full. Remember, happiness doesn't come with your degrees. Happiness doesn't come with how much money you have. Happiness doesn't come with which people you are. Happiness doesn't come because you have a rich house. Happiness doesn't come because you have friends. Happiness comes because you are grateful to the divine and you live in the ever presence of the divine. That is true happiness. So Triti, your answer, happiness and being grateful are going hand in hand. The moment you are ungrateful, Triti, you become miserable. That should answer your question. Sachin, is achievement and contentment related to materialistic world? Yes, Sachin, achievement is an illusory peak. We keep on climbing the peak and climbing the peak and climbing the peak. The rich man says, I built one building and another building and another building and another building. And I asked him, how many more buildings? He said, one more. And then he built one more building. And I went and asked him, hello, how many more buildings? He said, I told you, one more. And he built one more building. And I asked him, now how many more? He said, same answer, I told you, one more. And he died. He died. You know, most people, they climb the peak of achievement thinking they'll reach the top, but they fall down because it's a cliff. There is no peak. It's an illusion. They fall and they die. But Sachin, contentment means that you say enough. A human being doesn't know the meaning of enough. Enough is not enough. When you don't have 1 million, you want 1 million. When you have 1 million, you want 10 million. When you have 10 million, you want 1 crore. When you want 1 crore, you want 10 crores. When you don't have one car, you want one car. The moment you have a car, you want helicopter. You are never satisfied. And therefore, you are never happy. This is the paradox. Have I told you, Sachin, please pay attention, I have not told you this. In the Olympics, there was a girl who got a gold medal. So she was shouting, yay, 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 yay. She got the gold medal. And the person who came second got the silver medal. She was crying. She was crying. Oh, I missed the gold. I missed the gold. But the one who was third place, got the bronze medal, was dancing. Yeah. I did not expect anything. I got bronze medal. I did not expect anything. Look at the paradox. This is what they study in the Yale University. It's called the happiness paradox. There's a class in the Yale University called the paradox of happiness. So Sachin, we have to learn contentment is far more important than achievement. Ashok Nichani, ये कौन चित्रकार है? So Ashok Nichani is saying, tell 2 lines of ये कौन चित्रकार है? ये आसमां में तारे हैं, जमीन पे फूल खिलते हैं, पहाड़ में जो नदियां हैं, धरती पे नदियां बहती है, ये कौन चित्रकार है, ये कौन है जो सब किए, ये धरती को उत्पन्न किए, ये कौन है जो फूल का श्रृंगार किया जो है, ये कौन चित्रकार है, ये कौन चित्रकार, ये कौन चित्रकार है, ये कौन चित्रकार. So Ashok is asking me to say these words because I've written this poem. ये कौन चित्रकार है? अरे, we are looking at paintings in the exhibition and we are seeing the name of the artist. ये किसने पेंटिंग किया है? अरे, ये दुनिया का आर्टिस्ट कौन है? ये चित्रकार कौन है जिसने दुनिया बनाया? I went to Kashmir last week. I'm going again next week. Who made the mountains? Who made the meadows? Who made the Dal Lake? Who made all the beauty? Let us realize, ये कौन चित्रकार है? ये कौन चित्रकार? Huh? We have to understand this. Ashok, I hope I don't have a good throat today, but it's okay. Harsh, God is something who maintains equilibrium in universe between planet and sun and moon. So Harsh, yes, God is a power that controls the universe through universal laws. God has created the law of gravity. God has created karma, the law of action and reaction. So Harsh, you are very active. I have not seen you very active in the past, but are you new to the call? I'm not sure, Harsh, but I'm happy in your participation. God is the power that has created all these universal laws. And yes, this universal laws creates equilibrium. That's why the earth suddenly doesn't fall and crash. Why the earth is not falling and crashing? Imagine tomorrow we say, Dunya doob gayi, and we are all running. Why? Because the earth has sunk into an ocean of the universe. Has it happened? No. Will it happen? No. The earth is rotating on its own axis. How is the earth rotating on its own axis? Have you ever stopped to wonder who created the magic of seasons? Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Who is creating the magic? Have you stopped to wonder? Oh, you have no time. You are worrying whether your vada pav is hot or not, whether the pav bhaji mein nimbu hai ki nahi hai, whether chole bhature mein onion hai ki nahi hai. That's what's important. When will you stop and realize the truth about life? So my friends, here you are. I answered Harsh. Dipesh Mishram. How to be happy? Continuously. There are bad times in life. How to overcome the bad time? By realizing in this world, there is sun and there is rain. There is loss and there is gain. There is pleasure and there is pain. And this will happen again and again and again. So my dear Dipesh, if you're thinking that there will be only sun and no rain, you are sure to be unhappy. If you think there will be only profit, and no, there will be gain, but there will be no loss. No, there will be loss and there will be gain. There will be pleasure and there will be pain. Learn to enjoy both. If you have to be happy, learn to enjoy day and night, because both will come. There will be darkness just as there will be light. So Dipesh, that's the way to live. Ravi, have you experienced samadhi? Have you experienced your own soul experience? My dear Ravi, those who experience the state of realization do not go and blow their trumpet and say, I've experienced this. It is for us to experience and to share our realization. Therefore, You have to experience samadhi. You please go into that. I have realized certain truths about life, and I am a seeker. I am seeking just like you are seeking, and I continue to seek. The journey continues. As long as we are in a body, we have a mind and an ego, there's a chance for us to fall anytime. Therefore, we should not say we are enlightened. We should not say we are, yeah. You realize certain things. When I realized I was not the body, I was the Atma, I transformed. I changed my name to air. I am not Ravi, I am the Atma in Ravi. So that is, yes, I do experience moments of consciousness. I do experience moments of divine, what I call Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand means Sat, the truth, Chit, consciousness, Anand, bliss. So you please try to study, Ravi, about Sat Chit Anand. Then you also will become air. You will become the Atma in Ravi. Sachin, uh, is it like that, or at the end of the day, all the souls will ultimately get liberated and merge with God, or some souls will always keep on having rebirth? Sachin, it's like saying, will the river ever come to an end? The river will flow, it will go to the ocean, but a new river will form from the mountains and it will flow. If all the souls get liberation and unification, then this world will come to an end. Earth will come to an end. If God wants it to come to an end, then it will come. So, my dear friends, let us not question what God wants. Let us try to realize the truth. Sachin, I hope you get my point. You work towards your soul. You are not bothered about all souls. Correct, Sachin? Am I right or am I wrong? You try for your soul to be liberated and become one with divine. Whether all souls will be, you and me are only going to live for a few more years. Then we will be gone. Then what we know, what is God's plan? You are asking for God's plan. Hello, I like to say hello to your son. Your son is peeping in. Hi, baby, how are you? Sachin's son is a young boy who is interested in this call and he's peeping his face. And I luckily saw him. I'm happy that a young boy like Sachin's son participates and he takes part. He listens to the Zoom call. He's a young boy, but he listens to the Zoom call every week. And Sachin, don't feel shy. Let him listen to the call and let him participate. So that is the young boy who is the youngest participant in the Zoom call. Thank you, Sachin. Ruchika Singh, we all have to die one day, and it is important to realize the truth before that. Request you to please sing a few lines, Ek Din Sikandar. So last time I sang this. Sarah, have you heard this? About Sikandar, the song, have you heard? You know who's Sikandar, right? Sikandar is Alexander the Great. So it says, Ek din Sikandar, दुनिया का बादशाह, मौत से वो बचना चाहा, वैद को बोला जान बचाओ, महल और धन तुझे दे दूंगा, सब दे दूंगा, सब दे दूंगा, गर तू बचा ले, वैद मगर क्या बचाएगा, तेरे जीवन का अंत होगा, झूठ नहीं सच्ची ये बात, कौन यहाँ से बच के निकला, मौत से कौन है बच पाता, तेरे जीवन का अंत होगा, झूठ नहीं सच्ची ये बात. One day the patient was crying, doctor, doctor, मैं मर जाऊंगी, doctor, मैं मर जाऊंगी. The doctor said, मत रो, मैं भी मर जाऊंगा. मुझे भी मरना है, आपको सिर्फ नहीं मरना है, मुझे भी मरना है. रुचिका, आप नहीं मरेगी, मैं नहीं मरूंगा, सबको मरना है. लेकिन हम कभी नहीं मरते हैं, इस शरीर मरता है. The body dies. Every body dies. Huh? Every body, B-O-D-Y, every body dies. But death is not the end. Death is just a bend for us to transcend and to evolve and to be liberated and to unite with the divine. That is the ultimate goal, to realize we are the soul. Gurudat, the question, Nowadays, being truthful and sincere is not seen as a positive quality, especially at workplace. How should one react to situations? My dear Guru, that whether people see it as positive or not positive, you be honest and truthful. Because if you are not honest and truthful, karma will get at you. You please worry about your karma. You don't worry about your workplace. The workplace is like a stage. You are an actor. You come to the workplace, you act and you go. Just because there are villains in the earth stage, you don't become a villain. Just because there are people doing wrong things on the earth stage, you don't do wrong things. So I want you to realize, because you're on this call, dear Guru Dutt, let other people sin. They will not win. But if you do a good deed, every good deed is like a seed. The seed you plant decides the fruit on the tree. The deed you plant decides your destiny. So you choose your destiny. There is nothing like luck. It's pluck. You pluck what you sow. What you sow is what you reap. If you don't do good in the workplace, my dear Guru Dutt, you are sure to reap. So don't forget, as you sow, so shall you reap. Karan Singh, if your all properties, assets, relationships will go off, could you be happy because of God? I feel happiness is the combination of success, relationship, and spiritual experiences. Yes, you are right, Karan Singh, because right now your state of mind is like that. I cannot say you are wrong. So right now, Karan Singh, you are in a state where you want happiness, you want achievement, you want pleasures, you want that. Please enjoy, Karan Singh. I also enjoyed for 30 years. I did all the things that I should not have done. There's nothing that I did not one single badmashi which I did not do. I did sab kuch maine kiya. Karan Singh, you understand? But then I realized the uselessness of it. You also do. You also will realize. Then one day you will come on the Zoom call and you will say, no, that I want to change. It's your choice. So there was one man who kept on eating a wrong fruit and he kept on getting poison. One man told him, "Dekho, ye poison hai." He said, "No, I'm enjoying the fruit. I'm enjoying the fruit." He kept on eating the poison. One day he was hospitalized, eating the wrong poisonous fruit. Then he woke up and told that man, "Arey yaar, main ye poison fruit kyun khaya hai?" He said, I told you so many times." He said, "But bahut maja tha na, bahut maja tha. Kha ke bahut maja tha." So Karan Singh, pleasures. You think you are enjoying the pleasures, my dear Karan Singh. You are not enjoying the pleasure. The pleasure is enjoying you. You are not consuming achievement. The achievement is consuming you. Like Jalebi, Harsh is saying Jalebi. You know the story of Jalebi, Harsh? Have I told you the story? Harsh's face is not there, only his questions are coming. Have I told you the story of Jalebi? Let me tell you the story of Jalebi quickly. We have not much time. How many more questions? We don't have time. But there was one person. You know what? This person, this Karan Singh, this is for you. Where is Karan Singh gone? Because you asked me the question about achievement. There was one man, Lesno Harsh, reminded, he was very fond of jalebi. Jalebis and jamuns. He was very fond of hot jamuns and hot jalebis. My guru used to tell this story. So what he had no money. So there was one building site, they were doing construction. So this man, he went and worked in the building and he earned little money. With the money, he went and he bought jalebis and jamuns. Then again he went and worked and the site next day. And he bought more jalebis and more jamuns. And the next day he worked from morning to night carrying the stones and working because he wanted more jalebis and more jamuns. And then after he went and ate the jalebis and the jamun, night when he went home, he saw his hands. His hands were fully cut. His hands were fully cut because he had worked 3 days and in the site. And you know what? Next day what he did? In the next day he went to work. But he didn't go and buy jalebi and jamun. Karan Singh, you know what he did? He went to the river. He went to the river and he said, he took the money, Karan, he threw in the river and he said, jamun khayega to eetha uthayega. Jamun khayega to eetha uthayega. Jamun khayega to eetha uthayega. What is the meaning? Because of jamun, see what's the condition of my hands. Because of jalebi, Harsh, because of jalebi, my condition is my hands are all broken. My dear friends, this is another story. I can't tell you today, but you Google, you may find the story of, it's called the fold. There are people, there's a story of the folded hands. There was a man who was working in the mine. He wanted more money and more money and more money. And he kept working in the mine. It's a long story, I can't tell you. But after working many years in the mine, his fingers fell off. He had no fingers. And then there's a painting of these folded hands. because the man wanted money and achievement. He was so passionate, he lost his hands. What is the use? You have all the achievement currency, you have all the money, but you don't have hands. What will you do? What will you do with the money? It's of no use. Friends, we have to close this session. So we are quickly going to answer Adil Bashir Khan. If a person spends his whole life in errors and ignorance and then dies in the same condition, what will happen to him after death? Adil Bashir Khan, I don't know you agree with this or not, but if you die with all the errors and all the wrongdoings, you can't escape it. If you are a Hitler, if you are a person who's killing and hurting people, your body will die, but you will come back in a new body. And heaven or hell, you will suffer in earth and you take rebirth. So remember, there is no heaven and hell. You experience heaven and hell on earth when you take rebirth. So Adil, dear Adil Bashir Khan, bura kaam mat karo. Jo burai karega, it's like this. If you plant apples, you will get apples. If you plant pineapples, don't expect apples. This is the rule of the world. Rohan Bajantri, who really can make us happy? Nobody. Nobody can make you happy except you. You can't become happy. You have to be happy. Happiness is a state of being. Don't try to become happy. You will never become happy. But you want to be happy, you can be happy now. You can be happy right now. Learn the art of happiness. So we are going on to the next question. Ruchika, who will realize the truth? The mind? Not just the mind. I will realize the truth. Who am I? I am the divine soul. The divine soul is embodied in the body mind complex. The body is like a computer, hardware, software, power supply. The reality is I am the power supply. But because of ignorance, I think I'm the mind, the subtle body. I think I'm the body. I become the Jeev Atma. The Jeev Atma is the one who will realize the truth. The combination, because it's just like saying, can I play the software without the hardware? You cannot. Can the hardware play without the software? You cannot. Can the hardware and software play without the power supply? You cannot. We spoke about it last time. You need a combination of hardware, software, and power supply. So Ruchika, you, Dr. Ruchika Singh, you will realize the truth, not just your mind, but your body, mind, ego, soul complex. You as a human being, the entity, that entity called a human being will realize the truth. That is the answer to your question. Krishna Sarma, in your black fur story, Krishna Sarma, in your black fur bear story, I could not note only worldly attractions. What are other things? Please tell once again. I don't remember what I said in the black fur story. I could not note only. So Krishna Sarma, simple thing. This man, he jumped in the river to catch the black fur, but it was not a fur; it was a bear. So what I told was, in this world, we also jump behind people. We jump behind addictions. So we get addicted. We think that will give us pleasure, like the black rug he wanted pleasure out of the black rug. First, we go behind the pleasure. We think that the pleasure, we will be happy. But then the pleasure will consume us. So Krishna Sarma, we should not crave, we should not chase, because when we go and jump and we catch hold of things, then we will suffer. That's what I tried to say. But Krishna Sarma, you can message me on my personal number. My personal number is shared. You all can WhatsApp me for your question. Dr. Surinder Goel, we are finished. Our time is already over, but I have 3 questions. I'll quickly try to answer. Our time is already crossed today. Seva, Satsang, and Simran are the basics of spiritual life. Serving people, company of holy person, and the name of Lord are essential elements of spiritual life. 100% correct, Dr. Surinder Goel. I completely agree with you. Live like a yogi. Live in Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. Dr. Surinder Goel, अगर आप योगी बनते हैं, योगी जो योग में सदा ही रहे, प्रभु के योग में रहे, संसार की माया में वो ना अटके, सदा योग में वो रहे. अगर योग में रहेंगे, सत्संग करेंगे, सेवा करेंगे, सब करेंगे. Next question from Ravindran. Why humans create new technology and run to buy it with more efforts? Because human beings are living a life of illusion. Human beings don't realize the truth. That's why today's topic is realize the truth. About life, about happiness, about God. Ravindran, please go in a quest to realize the truth. The human beings are running a race, and one day we are zooming. Zoom, 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 zoom. But we will zoom from our womb to our tomb. One day, bang, you will fall in the grave, and then it will be game over. Wake up before that day comes. Because if you don't, then you will come back again and again. Last question from Gurvinder Singh. How to being loved by others. The only way to be loved by others is for you to love others. Because what you give, that you will get. What you do comes back to you. If you want love from somebody, you first love. Because the love that goes out will come back. But don't confuse love. Understand the meaning of true love. So we will end with that point that next Friday, 2 days before Valentine's, we are talking of the rainbow of true love. Gurvinder, I will explain more of true love to you. What is true love? Love is not Valentine's. Love is not hearts and kisses and hugs. I've written a book. True love is bliss, not just a kiss. So, Gurvinder, if you send me a message, I will send you the book, the soft copy of the book. True love is bliss, not just a kiss. But next week, we are talking of the rainbow of true love. Next Friday, I have gone much beyond my time today. I thank you, Margaret, Shivoham, Amma, and Girish, Kumar Swami. Thank you for being on the call. Veena, Sudeep, Ashok, and Hema, Ajitek, Shivoham, Chandresh, Komal, Sanjay Das, Shivoham, Sara, Rajratnam, Girish, I already said, Taufik, Shikha Singh, Sachin, Pratima, Dr. Surinder Goyal, Ruchika Singh, Rekha, Gurudat, and the rest of you whom I cannot see, Gautam, Sagai Raj. Thank you so much for all of you being on the call, all of you who asked questions. Triti, the new attendant, Harsh, thank you for being on this call today. And every Friday, I have a date with you all. Every Friday, 7 to 8 is my commitment wherever I am. Next week, I am on 2G connection. You know where I'm going to be next week. I have only 2G connection, but I will be in touch with you next Friday from 7 to 8. God bless you. Thank you. Shivoham.